Coming up, for people who think the iPad Pro should be able to replace a laptop, a new accessory from Brydge, the new wireless keyboard for iPad Pro.
This is Twit.
This episode of Hands on Tech is brought to you by Aftershokz. Unbelievably comfortable open-ear headphones. Hear music and crystal clear phone calls like never before. Visit hot.aftershokz.com and use the code HOT for $50 off the tech bundle.
So I ordered this in January, I think, and it finally came end of May. You can now pre-order it on Brydge's site. Brydge is well known for making keyboard cases for the iPad, but this is the one I was really interested in. This is the Brydge for the new iPad Pro 11 and 12.9 inch. I have a 12.9 inch here. The amazing thing about this is it's $30 less than Apple's smart keyboard case. That's what I have here. Now, the smart keyboard case is great because it, well, it's from Apple. It fits around it, but it's $200 for the 12.9 inch. It's magnetically attached, as you can see, to the back. It is also the only case I know of that uses the iPad Pro's new smart connector. Remember, on the old iPad Pros, the smart connector was on the bottom, and a lot of keyboard cases used it. Even this Brydge eschews the smart connector for something different. The other thing I wasn't crazy about with this Apple case is the key travel and feel is not great. It's a chiclet keyboard, and it's not backlit. Plus, there's only two angles that you can set up the iPad Pro in. There's two little ridges for it to sit in, and that's it. 1, 2. So let's take off the $200 Apple case and put on the new Brydge case. By the way, you can ignore that little disc on the back. That's a magnetic disc for a crazy device, which I'm not going to review, for hanging your iPad off the back of your airplane seat. We won't be using that today. This is the brand new Brydge wireless keyboard. It's Bluetooth, but it's Bluetooth, so it doesn't use the smart connector, but it has an interesting kind of take on this, a little flip on this. It comes with a USB-C cable, which you can use to charge it, of course. And by the way, they're claiming 12-month battery life. I'm not surprised. This thing is heavy. There's obviously a big battery here in the wrist rest. But you can also connect it, if your battery dies, directly to your iPad via the iPad's own Type-C connector. So you could keep it going for a little bit longer. Of course, it would drain the iPad's battery. There's another piece to this, and that's this backing. So it is going to have a little bit of protection on the back for the iPad. So we'll put this on first. And yeah, this is nicely stuck on. And watch how this mounts. It has these little hinges here, and you slide the iPad into the hinges. And now it makes a pretty thick, as you can see, and somewhat heavy iPad Pro. You've lost the slimness of it, and you've lost the weight advantage. On the other hand, now you have really something that's comparable to a MacBook Pro. The other thing I really like about this is a variety of angles. You can lay it all the way flat, and if I flip it around and slip it in like this, I can use it in a tablet mode.
Our show today brought to you by Aftershokz. I am such a fan of my Aftershokz. Aftershokz are headphones that use a patented bone conduction technology. They don't go in your ear. They rest just outside your ear, but they produce sound by sending vibrations through your cheekbones. They bypass your eardrum. The sound quality is amazing. They're also the most comfortable headphones you'll ever wear. Lightweight. They're Bluetooth 4.1, multi-point pairing, IP55 certified, so they repel sweat, dust, and moisture. 6 hours of continuous use on a single charge, and right now you can get $50 off the Aftershokz Tech Bundle. Go to hot.aftershokz.com and use the code HOT at checkout. $50 off, offer valid in the U.S. only. That's hot.aftershokz.com. Use the code HOT.
So let's go through the keys up at the top. There's a whole bunch of them. This goes back to home. This will lock, I won't press it, but this will lock your iPad. So if you're ready to get up and walk away, maybe take a bathroom break, you can lock it right there. This third one in is a light bulb, and it actually controls the backlighting. There are 3 stages of backlighting, from dim to bright to off. So I guess that's actually 4 stages. This also controls screen lighting, and you see it's directly connected to the brightness of the screen. This little keyboard key here is really handy because sometimes when you're on a physical keyboard, you still want the on-screen keyboard for emojis and other things. This will pop that up. Complete controls for your media as well. Backwards, play, pause, forwards, and volume controls. This is a measure of your battery life of the keyboard. You can see that it's green here. Green is 75 at 100%. Red is 10 to 24%. Yellow is in between. So it's good to be able to actually do that directly on the keyboard. Here's the Bluetooth pairing button, the on-off switch as well. I think a really nice complement. One more feature I really like is the Siri button down here. This replaces, Apple puts the globe down there that lets you switch to different keyboards. I like having Siri here. What time is it? Because I can easily invoke Siri without taking my hands off the keyboard. I like that a lot. Press the home button to get back to home. Because of the iOS operating system on the iPad, you have undo, copy, and cut commands, Command Z, C, X, and paste, Command V. As usual, you can underline with Command U, italicize with Command I. If you want to show the dock, it's Control, Option, D, and that'll pop up the dock. If it's missing or you're in an app, you could switch apps with Command Tab, much as on a Macintosh, but you could do that on any Apple keyboard. Command H brings you back to the home screen. Search is Command Space, that brings up Spotlight search. And Control Shift Spacebar will change the language that you're operating on. All of these are really handy. Once you've got a good keyboard and your hands are always on the key, I think that's really great. So the other thing that I really like about this is a real keyboard for a change. In fact, arguably maybe even better than the MacBook Pro and the MacBook Air keyboards. There's not only more key travel, it just feels a little clickier. And it's not those butterfly keys, which Apple touted because they're very stable. There's a little bit more play to this, but actually I like it. So typing on this is a lot better, I think, than typing on the Apple Smart Keyboard, but comparable to typing on a Bluetooth keyboard, an Apple Bluetooth keyboard. I really like the angles that we can set this at. I mean, that really makes a big difference. And if you're looking for something that turns your iPad into something more like a laptop, this is definitely it. Even looks like a laptop and, yes, carries and weighs like a laptop. Where the Brydge keyboard will really come into its own is this fall, when iOS 13 comes out. Apple is going to be adding a lot of features to make the iPad more like a laptop. And I suspect we're going to see this keyboard and iPad combination become very, very popular. So a very nice keyboard. I wish there were a trackpad on it. That's not really Brydge's fault. That's Apple's fault for not building that capability in. There are some rumors they might build it into iOS 13. If they do, well, you'll just have to attach a mouse to your iPad. Fortunately, this doesn't use up the Type-C connector, so you can still do that. $149.99 for the 11-inch version, $169.99 for the 11 or 12.9-inch version. I think that's a great price. It's considering it's less than Apple's. Very securely mounted on this. You won't have any trouble carrying it around or throwing it in your briefcase. Of course, you're going to want to detach the pencil and put that somewhere safe. So there are two negatives to this. I like the price, but the negatives are, of course, it adds greatly to the thickness of your iPad. It also adds to the weight, more than doubling it. The Brydge keyboard alone is 1.5 pounds. So the total combination is more than 2.5 pounds. This feels like a laptop and looks like a laptop. But on the bright side, it also works like a laptop. The Brydge Pro Keyboard for the iPad Pro 11 and 12.9 inches. Definitely a thumbs up.
Keep up with all the hottest tech news and gadgets. Visit twit.tv. There you'll be able to find and subscribe to all our tech shows. Thanks for watching Hands on Tech.